Hello, welcome back. This is another video. I know I don't really show up to be in videos face to face anymore, but fuck it. I got nothing to do. So this is the Q&A video that I posted about 2 weeks. Sadly, no one really gave me any questions, only for a couple people. I just went on Google, put for common Q&A questions to ask a musician / artist, and I got them written down right here. I had it all written down, so I'm all ready. And I got my tea. Ready for this bullshit. It's fucking like it's almost midday, so I got no time for this. I gotta do other shit. So, first question: please explain your creative process. As being creative as a kid, I've always tended to just have random ideas pop into my head. My ADHD brain always goes fucking haywire, and I'm like, oh my god, I have this idea, and then 2 minutes later, I just fucking forget. So what I always do, I write it down, because if I know it's gonna be something important later on, I do that. I write it down. So it's all from just life experiences, from what I've witnessed, what I've experienced, what I felt emotionally before, and how it changed me over time. Usually how I do creative stuff, it's all from changes, because the power to change is amazing, because you never know how someone can change just like that. I always like to go back when I was a kid and just think like, how did this help me? Like, what is this gonna benefit me? Just thinking like nostalgic vibes always help me, because with nostalgia, it always helps you with ideas. Next question: how would you describe your music? My music is a whole load of crap. With my type of music, it's usually just all multi-genre stuff, because there's always something for everyone. Especially with my music, I like any kind of music. Like, I like all kinds of genres. I'm multi-genre. I'm not genre-phobic.
What's the beast to a dinosaur, nigga? Pterodactyl mixed with a T-Rex. T-Rectodactyl.
So that's usually how my music will go. What first got you into music? Growing up, I had my parents always driving me place to place. They'd be playing their CDs in the car. How I got into music, because they always told me as a kid I'd always be dancing and singing all the fucking time, and it would annoy them, but at some point they were gonna see something that I can do with that, and that's what they said. Like, and anything from like mainstream radio that I've heard early 2010s, that was like my peak. That's when I really liked music. That's when things were really good, because there was a lot of bangers. A lot of, and if you know me personally, I would always play those songs from like the early 10s, and then sometimes from being raised with like music from the 70s to like the 90s. That's like my kind of stuff. If you know me personally, you'll know the music I like. Which famous artists do you admire? So with admiring artists, I always go for the ones that I'm willing to like focus and listen to what they are saying and explaining. So there's Troye Sivan. He's a guy that amazing in production, in vocal production, studio production, all that stuff like that. Coldplay is another one, because they've been around for so long, and I looked up to them as a band for who knows how long. With Halsey, I look up to her as someone that I could listen to vocally, and someone I could listen to like personally, because sometimes her lyrics hit hard and they can get emotional. There's another band, if you're not in the Latino community, you might not know this one. This band is called Mana, the face of rock for the Latino community back in like early 2000s, or mid 2000s, just around the 2000s, like the OO era. They were really in that. Green Day, especially in punk rock. I was a really rebellious kid, and I'd always listen to them because they did that kind of stuff. Owl City. If you're a recent subscriber, you would have seen that I recently went to his concert. His concert was amazing. One that I have yet to feel nostalgic of for a long while. He's like, he can multitask doing, like, when I went to the concert, he sang, he played guitar, and played the drums, like playing guitar like all at the same time. And I was like, holy fucking shit, this guy's amazing. And I don't know how many people can just fly past his music, because his music is just amazing. What are your top performances? My performances from Northern Arizona University's open mics are my top ones so far, because the crowds were amazing. The designers and the stages and all that shit was decent, but I liked it for just being an open mic in a school. There would be like 50 to like 200 people in each open mic, and it would just get packed. It's all in like the second floor, and the whole second floor from where the open mic is, it get packed. And from just playing like 2 to 3 songs, people really vibe to my stuff. And I've only done covers for now, but I'll eventually do like my own stuff once like the album comes out. But for now, I'm only doing the singles because it's promotional stuff. My other top performance was at one of my friend's parties just like a couple months ago, and that was like the longest performance I've ever done. I think it was like close to like an hour, and I was tired. But I got free food, got a soda, helped me wake up, and it was cool. Another one, there was a restaurant called Cheeseheads, somewhere in Arizona, like on the northeast side, I would say. Especially the guy running the open mic, he was really cool. Played like 4 songs. For only being a small restaurant and only like 20 to 30 people being in there, people really liked it. For me, being young, and then the majority of the people that did the open mic were like somewhere in like 30s and their 40s. So me being like someone in there, like at the time I was 19, it helped me a lot. It gave me confidence to play around people that are more experienced than I was. And that's how it was. Those were my top performances. Describe your favorite venue for performing. With performances, I like to have something that's not so loud, because I've been to so many concerts already, and like the majority of the venues I go to are so loud. It would hurt my ears. I would sometimes have to like just get my headphones and just put one headphone in there without no music getting in there, and just have the other one open, just for it to like not hurt me. Because I know like there's like an advisory to just make sure if you're gonna go to a concert that has a lot of speakers, or it's just high frequency on, to just have earplugs just in case. With venues, that best describes it, pretty much everyone can hear it. You can definitely play your instruments and the acoustics will sound very good, and then people would hear you vocally. And then for just engagement with the crowd, that's something what I always like to do. And I think the venue I would go for if I'd ever perform there would be the Van Buren, somewhere in downtown Phoenix. Because the last concert I went to, which was Owl City, like just from me recording it, it sounded amazing. Like I can definitely just put that concert onto an MP3 and there you go. Have a live performance fucking audio, and it would sound amazing like on the radio or something. It sounds amazing just from just recording it. And even without recording it, like halfway through the concert, I just turned off my camera and just enjoy it. And then it just sounded perfect. My ears weren't hurting. I can definitely hear the singer. I can hear the other instruments that are being used. Another guy was playing the drums, another guy was playing the bass, or was it the cello? It was one of the two. Like it was amazing. How has music impacted your life? I don't know if I've already said it, but the way that music impacts on everyone's lives is something that I can relate to, because it not just impacts me, it impacts everything. Music is something or someone that talks to you. It basically just means that music is just a way of understanding how people have a different types of views. And with how it impacted me, I started playing in orchestras back when I was like 10. And from there, I just kept playing on and on and on, because the music lifts me. It makes me engage with the crowd, because whenever I perform, I always want to see the impact I have on people. I want to see how they like it. I want to see how they react. That's why sometimes around when I started in the channel, you would have seen me doing reaction videos, because I see people love reaction videos around the time that I started. And that's what I went for because people loved reaction videos and I liked reaction videos too. Because it's always good to have feedback from other people, and that's how your music can be impactful to others. You have to see the feedback, especially if you're an artist. You want to see how they like it, and you want to see how you can like it, how they can like it. Just tie it together, and there you go. You have your final product, and whether it has mixed reactions or has the reactions that you wanted, it's gonna get attention. What inspires you to make music? This is a question by my good friend Hazard.avi. Make sure you go subscribe to him. I have done voice acting for his channel before, so I'll make sure you go follow him. What gets me going, like motivation wise, I always, like I said in the previous question, I like to see the reactions of other people and how it impacts them. That is what inspires me. And then what also inspires me is the better future I can definitely have with the work that I give. Because I always want a better future, and I also want to give myself a name, since I've been like shunned out just from music. I've always just been someone else in the crowd or someone else in the group. Like, oh, it's just this guy. But that's why I've been trying to do things alone. That's why you don't see me in a band right now. I want to get in a band. I'm experienced to be in a band, but it's not something I want to get to at the moment, because I know what I can do by myself. I know how to run a business by myself, especially with just me. Like everything I've done was just me. I've never had help before, especially with music. I get like tips and advice from people, and it does help, and I get feedback, and it does help, and everything does help. But just like overall, it was all me. And I like to be independent with my work, because I can say that I'm just original like that. When a lot of people are not, they get like samples from other people, they get other beats from other people, when you never know the potential that you can have on just doing it yourself. And I'm not saying that you should like just do things yourself and just get away from other people. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying give it a try, because I've tried working with other people and it sucked. I suck at working with other people. Where do you find your inspiration? And then over time, for the past like 11 years of doing music, I always find it in like talking with other people, see what they say, and just like their sides of stories. Because sometimes it's from what I have been through and what they've been through. And I always want to just compare. I want to see what they have felt. I want to see, or I also want to hear how and what they did in order to be better over time. And then what I also do is go to concerts, especially with how I should perform. If you're a singer and a musician or an instrumentalist, like acoustics or whatever, you want to see how your performance can impact a group, a crowd, a fucking house, like big ass house. It doesn't matter. Like you want to see how it would just make your future. That's how I find inspiration, because I always sit and think after the concert. I'm like, okay, this guy did this, this guy did that, and this guy did that, and then the reaction was this, that. Basically, you want to make it like a math problem, especially with how you should perform, production wise or promotional wise. You want to see how others would feel. And that's why I'd always give like personal notes to people, like, hey, what do you think of this before I release it? And they'd be like, yes, but this can need this, this, and this. And I'm like, okay, I'll try that. I send them again, and they're like, even better. What instruments can you play? Some that I've already used in like songs, but mainly some of the stuff that I don't have, I would tend to use it on my like my studio production kind of thing. I would just get the software for it, and then I would just go ahead and just pretty much just do buttons and all that shit. And for the rest of the stuff, the instruments I can play, when I first started with music back like 11 years ago, when I was a fucking kid, when I was like 10 years old, I first learned to play the viola. Now the viola, if you've never heard of it, it's like a mix between a violin and a cello. Let me explain that. It's a mix between a violin and a cello. A viola is the size or almost the shape of a violin, but it has the strings or similar like note frequency to a cello. You'll be playing the style of a violin, but it would sound like low and deep. When I started playing it, it was very easy. Like, I got into it in just 1 year and was first chairman. It was pretty fun. I liked it. And then over time, I played the piano. I first started playing the piano when I was in high school. I've been playing in the high school for 3 years, and then over time I went on to college to play piano, and I've been playing piano for almost 5 years now, I would say. Well, I still do. I still have some drums. It's not a whole drum kit. It's just like I have a pair of bongos. I got like a tongue drum, like the ones that are very hollow and you just use your fingers. Ding, 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 ding. So yeah, I have those. And I recently got it last year by my wonderful girlfriend. She got me an electric guitar. I'm starting to play that. I'm getting better at it. Like, really better at it. This does count as an instrument, so shut up. Singing is an instrument. Your voice is an instrument. You can use it the way many others can, especially with singing. So with singing, I've been doing it since 2016, basically a little bit after I started with music, because with singing, especially if you're playing an instrument, singing is one of the biggest ways you can improve on whatever you're playing. Because if you can play the note, you can sing it. If you can sing it, you can play it. What separates you from other artists? It's something like this kind of question that goes on to with like many like producers interviews, or like if you're having an interview for a record label, they'll always ask you this: what separates you from other artists? Usually the one thing I would always say is I use my story. I use my songs as a story that I always tell people, because I tend to just tell stories to many people, and they'd go with it. I like to talk. I like to talk to other people. I like to just know what they went through, and I like to know what I went through as a form of a story. And my songs are a form of a story, and I use that story to help others through tough times, since I've been through hell. I'm going through a crisis right now. I'm going through some shit right now. Especially, like, you don't see it, but I am. You can go through hell and back, and it just sucks. Because I've already been through it. And then with, like, people that are still young, they're still trying to figure out what to do. I always talk to them. I always give them inspiration. I give them advice. Be like, hey, it's going to be okay. Because I've done this. I've done that. So, if you want to try this, use this to get better. Use this form to get better. Talk to people. Do these kind of things to just talk with people. And that's why with my music, I always try and tend. And I know with like music, it just doesn't have to help people. It just has to like give them inspiration for something. Something in music always gives a forum for people to go. It's their gasoline. It's their engine. It's what gives them inspiration to do stuff. That's what my music would tend to do. And then with, as many artists have already said, they are original. Originality is always key to making music. Always. But you can always find inspiration from other people in order to get that originality. And then, what I always say with producers or record labels, I always go by the motto, quality over quantity. Because I've already seen so many like record labels out there and promoters, producers, they always want to go for like the quantity of people. Like, okay, if we make this song, this many people are gonna listen to it. Like, it doesn't matter what you say or what you do, they're gonna like it anyways. I'm like, no, that's not what I go for. I always go for the quality. I want to go for how people will enjoy this, not just by them listening to it or just playing it on repeat. Like, no, it's by them understanding and listening, because sometimes what my songs will go for is to listen, because a lot of these artists out there, especially now, are only going for the quantity, because they're only counting on money, they're only counting on just followers and stuff. I'm like, you have to go for the quality, because with the more quality you have, the more the people are going to understand the music that you submit or promote or release. Like, it doesn't matter. You always got to focus on the quality over quantity, and that's what I always go for. That's my motto as a musician. Who's your favorite musician? There's a bunch of aspects in that. For like instrumentalist, I really like Two Cellos. Two Cellos I've been listening to, I'd say, since 2017. I went to their concert that many years ago, and they were amazing. And it's just them two. There's like no other like player in the back, no singer, just them, two cellos, two guys playing the cello. Like they be playing like old music back in like many centuries ago, playing songs that are from like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. Like they rock out to that, and all they're playing is cellos. That's it. And that impresses me a lot as like an instrumentalist. They improvise a lot. A lot of improv, but they still have that finished product and people really like it. Quality over quantity, man. It's always that. Vocally, if you're not from the Latino community, obviously you probably won't know him, but he's a big idol and figure to me as someone vocally. His name is Luis Miguel. He is like a singer from the 80s, very big around the 80s, but I know he started in the 70s, and from there he went on and made bangers. He dropped a song and many people would love it because his style of singing, his voice is incredible. And he is at the point where he should be retiring soon, but I know he's not going to do it. People really like his voice. They still want to hear him because at some point he was the voice of Mexico. He was very popular for that kind of stuff. And I loved his voice like that. He's my inspiration to just be a better vocalist and to improve. Not to sound like him, but to at least give people that feeling like, oh my god, this is touching. That's mainly just like some questions that I've looked up on Google and what I got. So these are questions that I personally like ask myself. Will another single drop before the album? Yes. I can't tell you when, but yes. The next song is going to be the big one. It's going to be pretty much the face of the album because I want to drop like the last single of the album a bit before the album drops. And I know with what I posted recently, if you've been following me for like the past 2 months, that the album was delayed. It was supposed to be released sometime this spring, like around the next 2 months, I'd say. But then things took a hard turn and I had to recover. And now it's going to be released sometime around like the next 5 months, 5 to 6 months around there. But I'm going to try my best to get it as done early as possible. Subscribe and put the notifications on because you never know when the next single is going to drop. Because the next one after Nowhere Else But Here drops.
Nowhere Else But Here dropping this Friday. Make sure you stay tuned. Subscribe, notifications on because that's going to drop soon.
Sorry, a little promotion. The next song after that is going to be the big one. So, subscribe. How many songs will the album have? Because some people want to know how long it is. It's going to have 12 songs. It's my debut album, so I want to go big. Go big or go home. I want to go big. And then for runtime, it's just a wild guess. 45 minutes, I'd say. Like 35 to 45, around that area. Around 40 minutes, I'd say. That's how long the album is. For 12 songs, that's a while. But yeah, 12 songs is a lot for me. Yep. What is the album about? For the album, it's for telling my story. It's from telling the experiences I have had, the emotions I've had, and then the obstacles I had to go through in order to be the man I am today. Then as well, with all those experiences, about self-reflection. Because there's always like those artists out there that'll be pretty much dissing on other people and just always having a bad attitude. All about self-reflection because you always got to think about what you've done instead of just blaming the other person. Yep. Merch. Subscribe because it will eventually come. Merch will eventually come. Yes. Will you ever meet in person? I am always willing to meet a fan in person. I'm always willing to talk to them, engage with them, see what they gotta say, or any feedback they want to give as well. But yes, I am willing to meet in person with any musician, producer, or record label. I always post my Instagram, my TikTok, but I also put DM me for any business inquiries. You can always talk to me from there, from any of the social medias I post there. You can always DM me. But yeah, I'm always willing to meet in person. And then as well, I'm also trying to get into Phoenix Fan Fusion. If you're someone that has been following me for a while, I post vlogs on Phoenix Fan Fusion. I'm not doing that now because I'm not posting as vlogs as much. I'm only doing like concert videos. I'm trying to get my own booth for Phoenix Fan Fusion. So if you're a follower of me, if you've been following me for a while and you want to see me in person and you're in the Arizona area or close to there, you can maybe see me in person if I am admitted into Phoenix Fan Fusion. So please contact them and tell them that I'm trying to get in there. I post memes. I can make the merch if I make it. So yes, I can definitely do that. I'm still trying to make it. Huh? But yeah. Fuck, I got cold. It's been long already. Fuck it. Will the Wiltfage archives ever return? Yes, but sadly it is on hiatus. Because I announced it back around June, July, that I am in love with this project. My analog horror series project, the Wiltfage Archives, it has received a lot of views and it has received a lot of subscribers for me, a lot of followers for the channel, because there was a lot of people that only subscribed for the channel for the Wiltfage Archives, but then eventually they got into my music. And I'm very happy for that. But sadly, as of now, the Wiltfage Archives is on hiatus because, like I explained it in my community post, that it's on hiatus because I'm focusing on the album. And throughout this whole 2024, it's all gonna be the album. I'm sorry. Like, I'm still gonna post stuff like this, I'm still gonna make memes, but this is what I'm gonna have to do now for this year. I would say the Wiltfage Archives is not gonna be returning until, I would say, next year, because all I'm doing this year is performances, the album, performances for the album, like promoting and all that shit, and then trying to get revenue for that. Like, I've already made a community post that I am struggling right now as an artist. I'm very broke. I got nothing. Like, I don't got that many instruments as well. It's all just like low budget stuff. That's all I got right now. And for someone that's making music like this, people are saying like, oh my god, you got a huge studio, you got expensive stuff. I'm like, no I don't. It's all from scratch. I'm all trying to do shit like this. Because if as a small artist, you have to know the struggle in order to make the hustle. Know the struggle to make the hustle. Basically, that's one thing that I learned. Barely got any money, don't got that many subscribers to make revenue off of YouTube. Can't really pay money for ads as much anymore. I'm trying to make it. I'm still looking forward. I'm still looking towards the future. I'm still trying to make a better future. I'm still trying to make a name for myself and make a legacy, because that's my main inspiration. Making a legacy, making a name for myself. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Miguel Molles, did the Q&A. Thank you guys for reaching to the end of this video. But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe, turn the notifications on, because Nowhere Else But Here would be dropping this Friday, January 19th of 2024. Subscribe, notifications on, stay updated, because after Nowhere Else But Here, there's going to be another single dropping, and I will be sure to release the trailer for it. So make sure you have the notification on. Shut up and do it. I'll see you guys next time.